Hey there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to color a white and pink rose. More specifically, I wanted a white rose with just that little touch of pink at the tip. So I had not originally planned on creating this tutorial, but I had shared it on my Instagram and Discord and had a few requests to show how I did this. So I'm going to try and remember to put the reference photo in one of the corners up around here, and I'll just keep it up so you can kind of get the gist of what I used as inspiration. But yeah, I was just picturing those roses where they're pretty much a white rose with just that rim of pink, and that's kind of what I was going for. And yeah, so let me tell you the pencil colors you're gonna need. There's actually quite a few, and it may seem daunting at first, but there's layering involved here. So let me get all these out. Now you won't use all of them on every single rose. Like the smaller ones back here, they just don't have the space for it, but like these bigger ones you might. So either way, pull out the colors if you plan to do a spread. So you're gonna need your Prisma, these are all Prismacolors. Prisma White, so PC 938. And then you're going to need Sap Green Light, which is PC 120. Then you'll need Light Peach, which is PC 927. Then you're gonna need Deco Pink, PC 1014. Blush Pink, which is PC 928. Just regular pink, PC 929. And Process Red, which is PC 994. So there's two things you got to keep in mind when coloring roses in a spread like this. And let me zoom you in so I can show you what I mean. First of all, I'm on tan toned paper, so the process changes slightly, but not really a ton. You're still gonna use your colors. The only difference is my white is gonna show up more, whereas with white paper, you're going to wanna be a little more cautious and make sure you leave the white space, all right? So we have these roses here. These are facing off to the side, and in fact my reference photo has a rose off to the side like this. So with the side view, you have to keep in mind the shadows are going to be different than a rose that's full in front of you and blooming. Sorry for the zoom in, zoom out part. So yeah, you just need to kind of keep that in mind as you're creating it. So you can see here with this one, you can definitely see those tips just colored in. Same thing here, but a little bit more pinkish showing through than the white. And that's just because this one is less angled and it's starting to show from above. Because these are those roses with the pink tips. So when it's facing and you're looking down at it like this, you're gonna see a lot more pink than white. Whereas off to the side, you should be seeing more white than pink, okay? So I am going to probably color this one over here. It's kind of a mixture of both worlds in a way, and we'll just like tackle that one. So hopefully I can keep that on frame and we'll see. So the first thing I do is I color dark to light. It's just my style. You can reverse this if you prefer to do the opposite. You're going to grab your Process Red, and you're going to be very, very careful with this color. It is a practically hot pink color. Now there is a hot pink in Prisma, but this is like bright. Now you need to identify the edges of the petal only. So that's where it can get tricky, because you want only the ends of the petal, not like the curved bottom pieces. We literally want the tips. So you're going to take this and just kind of almost outline the edges, especially here in the center. See, like right there is a tip. And if you accidentally mark something that wasn't the tip of the petal, it's all good. Just pretend it was and color it the way color it that way. But let's do this way, and we're just going to keep outlining. All right. Some outlining here. I do see it coming up there. Now, some artists make it really easy to see, others do not. It's like sometimes you're guessing, you're like, is that an in or out? See, like here, this line, that's where they're dipping, but this right here is the end of a petal. Of course, I picked the biggest flower to do this, so, and then see here, this is the bottom of a petal, not the tip. Remember, roses are layers. If you ever pulled apart a rose, you know, they're like layered on top of one another. So yeah, you're not going to have the same line going all the way around. It's going to stop into something. And the closer to the middle of the bud, the more stacked on top of, oops, hi Prisma. The more stacked on top of them they will be. I'm gonna have to sharpen now. I wasn't even pressing hard either, but you know, Prisma life. It's actually my bad for, well, this one's really crumbly. For, it's actually the sharpener, it's not the pencil. Having a sharp point, you can have a sharp point on a Prisma, you just have to be ginger with it, but I am right now using I have a Staedtler sharpener, and once it dulls out, it does this wacky thing to your Prismas. It almost, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it kind of creates a pit. See that pit in the lead? It's not the pencil, it's the pencil sharpener doing it. All right. So I'm just gonna go around this one. This is a lengthy process, so part of me was like, should I speed this up or do this real time? I didn't want it to be like a 20-minute how to color a rose, but I'm gonna take the risk of doing it in real time. You can always, you know, use the sped up playback feature on YouTube if you don't wanna do this real time with me. I'm not gonna erase that little crumb that's there. I'm just gonna leave it, give it character, because honestly, no two flowers should look exactly alike anyway. Okay, we have outlined that one there, I believe, goes there, and there's one here. Man, when you get into these tiny crevices, I know it's gonna be like magnifying glass. All right, I'm gonna call that good. Now what I'm gonna do with my Prisma, using the process red, is just in some areas, I'm going to bring it down a little. Especially the areas where it's more open to me, like it's just saying hello to the sunlight. Now this is the inside of the petal. Okay, you have to remember when you're looking at a rose this way, occasionally you're going to be working inside and outside. This is the inside of the petal here. And why is that important? Because there's more white on the outside, like I had mentioned before about the petals further over here. So you have a little bit more pink when it's all facing you. So here is an outside of a petal, okay? Inside of a petal. You have to keep that in mind when you're doing this style, because it's going to be more pink on that inside. Let's see. This is an inside. Again, I'm just putting little flicks. You guys know me and how much I love my flicks. I'm working on the inside pieces first. So focus your efforts on the inside right now. Keep turning your pencil so that you don't lose that point. Okay, this one's an inside. Normally I would be turning this thing like crazy to get that effect, but I don't want to keep turning it on you guys. All right, now we have some outside pieces. So here's an outside petal. I'm going to just kind of very lightly along the line drag it. Same thing with that one. Now in here, I'm going to be a little bit more with the pink because we're getting to that center of the bud where it's concentrated. This is an outside facing petal. In the middle, if you are just like, I don't want to sit here and identify what is what, just go ham with the pink in the center. Because in reality, when a rose is that tight, the color is going to be pretty predominant anyway. All right, so next you're going to take pink, and same thing, except you're going to go a little bit over where that processed red was, and then a little bit in open areas. Same thing applies. Inward or inside of the petal, more pink. Outside of the petal, not as much. See, I'm being a little more liberal with this pink because this pink is not as woo in your face. And again, just light little flicks. They look like big flicks all zoomed in, but when you zoom out, you're like, okay, I get it now. Which I will definitely do when I'm not showing this and once we finish it up. But see, we're basically aiming to eventually smooth it out. Yeah, it looks rough right now, and it's gonna look rough. We have 2 more pinks to introduce, so don't worry about that. Again, you can kind of go over some of the processed red. Leave some spaces though, because like I said, we have 2 more pinks coming in here, and they're gonna go a little further down, but they're also still gonna fill the gaps, because when you look at these types of roses, you will notice that they have a little bit of, you know, white going up a little higher and light pinks and stuff. It's not just all like that hot pink color. And I normally don't look at reference photos, but I really, like, I knew what I wanted in my head, and so that was what I did here. Just picked, I was kind of scouring Google Images and just picked one that I felt was best, and or it like matched my vision in my head. Okay, I'm going to keep flicking with this pink here, but I think what I am going to do is speed this up for you guys, just so you're not sitting here watching me color this rose forever. So we're still working with the pink, and then I'll pop in each time we switch colors and explain. Okay, so now you are going to grab blush pink, and same thing, you're just going to fill in some of those gaps. Also go over the other pinks you've put down lightly, not too heavy. We're not doing the smush because Prismas are quite opaque, so believe it or not, even though this is light, I could cover up that processed red if I put too heavy of a pressure. So same thing, we're just going to go through and flick into some of that empty space, over some of the colors, bring it down, and keep going around. If it's easier for you, start in the center and just work your way circular out. I just tend to go outward and in. So let's keep going with the blush pink. Okay, now we are on to our next color, which is, there it goes, PC 104, which is Deco Pink. Again, same thing, only this time, so I'll show you like on this petal here. This time you're going to do all over and a few flicks down. Now, do not color block it. flick just a few that are longer. I know it doesn't look like it's showing up much, but it will once you introduce the white, because some of that white is going to come up in between here. So you want a few splotches of pink that go down, especially on these inside petals. And on the outside petals, you don't have it go down as far, okay? So we're going to just keep doing that. Okay, real quick, I'm going to show you what the sap green light is for. Now, you're not going to use it on these open facing ones, but you would use it on these closed ones. So I just want to show you what you would be doing with it. Basically, because the rose has leaves coming under it. So I like to put a little bit of that green reflection, a very tiny amount. So I would just kind of flick it up from where the leaves are, and just almost make it kind of like it's, you know, the green leaves are glowing against the rose. And it'll be very subtle, but it does make a difference. Now, if you want to use it in this one, you could kind of just put it here in some of these darker areas, but that's totally up to you. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to take my light peach now, and we're going to go in reverse. So we're actually going to use this in the crevices and flick upward. So we'll go up against basically the outlines that we've made. And I'm just flicking. You can even like keep it down on your paper. Flicking hurts your hands, and kind of zigzag back and forth. So we're just kind of doing that right now. So I will keep doing that, and you can see how it kind of comes together. Okay, so now it's time for our white. Yes, there's a crack down my pencil, but it's actually just the paint itself. The pencil is fine. You can actually see right here, there was a dent on it. So just how it was stored, that's why it has a crack. So you're gonna take your white, and this is where you're gonna see it pop on the tan toned. If you're doing this on white paper, you'll actually already see these pinks better on the white paper. So I'm going to take my white and just kind of get a good angle for this. You're basically just going to start creating lines in the center where that petal is getting its highlight, but also remember this is part of the natural color here. So I'm bringing some of it up into the pink, some not, definitely squishing it into the base. Yes, I said squish. I'll do one more before I speed it up, just so you get the gist. Let's do this one under here. See, I'm just doing lines. Some I'll flick up higher. Others I'll leave low. But the goal is just to bring out that white, mingle it with the pink. So now you can see the streaks of white in there, and if they're not showing up enough for you, you can do another layer. I wouldn't press too hard because the white is very opaque and you have a very light pink in there that you do not want to cover up. So I'm just going to keep going with my white and bringing this all together, and then I'll be back to show you just some final touches. Okay, so now all you're going to do is kind of pick up those 4 pinks that you have. So the process red, pink, blush pink, and deco pink, and just add wherever you feel it's lacking. Like I'm going to take pink right now, because see right here, I feel it's too much white. I'm just going to add a little bit of that one in some areas, bring it down in some others. This is entirely up to you. You could just call it done and walk away right now, or you can nitpick at it like I'm doing. That's why these roses have taken me so long, because I'm just sitting here like, I don't like that. I'm gonna adjust that. It's literally up to you. Like now I'm taking my blush pink, which is a little bit lighter. I'm just kind of popping some more where I want it in there. Like I feel like this center is too white, so I'm just kind of flicking in. I get kind of sloppy flicking in the center because it's just so bunched up in there. I don't need like to do microscopic coloring here. All right, now I'm gonna grab my process red, and anywhere like on the bud that all these opaque colors kind of just mashed my process red, I'll add it back in. Maybe I'll add some in the crevices, just because again, this is the bud area. It's really dark and dreary down there. I don't know how else to put it. It's dark. Maybe I want like a little bit more of a dramatic punch up here on this petal. Again, this stage is like 110% on you, but like I could sit here and fiddle with it for hours, which I'm not going to do. So as you can see over here, this is me just constantly going back and forth until the colors are really blended. So see how much pink I have blended out here? Like you can get that just by constantly going back in, adding more pink, and just bringing it down and swapping between your colors. Just swap at random. Like honestly, don't overthink it. Like grab blush, grab pink, grab some processed red. Like just roll with it, and then just keep blending till it's really nice and smooth like I have here. And then same thing over here. I just kept blending until it was smooth. Did I use all the colors though? Yeah, I do. And I know they're very close together, but each one, especially on this tan toned paper, creates just a slightly different effect, you know. And if you were to omit one, that's fine. You just won't have all those different pinks kind of building up and hitting the light differently. That's what you'd be taking away. You could get away with just using process red, and probably I would do blush pink and then your other colors, and then you could omit the pink and deco pink. But I prefer to just keep flicking them in one on top of one another, because again, they're opaque. They are going to layer over really beautifully and just slowly build up this gorgeous color, and just keep going. But it's kind of like with me in hair. You guys know that I'll just sit there and keep flicking at it until I like it. And basically anytime you hear me say I'm using the flick method, just expect that I'm going to sit there and fiddle with it until it's perfection. Because this is still pretty splotchy, whereas this one's smooth. So I'm going to just keep sitting here and flicking it out. And then you can always go back in with that white and, use that as kind of your soft blender. Say it's a little too harsh here, or you accidentally added too much processed red and you want to tone it down, take that white over it. It'll make a world of difference. So there you have it. That is how we make our little pink tipped roses. I hope you found this tutorial helpful, and I will try and do more like little tutorials like this. I'm trying to find my groove on tutorials and whatnot to share. So let me know in the comments below what you think, if it helped you. That way I can continue making the content that works for all of you guys. So until next time, everyone, take care. Bye now.